and welcome back to another video where I'm going to be doing pretty much just as much watching as you, because our install is happening all the way up there. We got a set of Recon white LED cab lights in a smoked lens. One thing before we get too far into this video, this is just going to be an install of the cab lights and the wiring itself. If you want to see the actual removal of the headliner, you'll have to check out my Starlight headliner video, which is going to come right after this one. But that is why I am going to go ahead and do cab lights now, because the headliner is already out of the way. But for a step-by-step process on removing that, go ahead and check out the video that's going to happen right after this one. We're going to have, this is going to be our wire harness, because we are installing this from scratch. If I don't fall over, there are no previous cab lights up there. So this is going to be all of our light bulb sockets, one power wire, and one ground wire with a ring terminal, nice and easy. We got two sets of hardware, not sure which one we'll use yet. And then that is going to be our smoked cab lights with the white LEDs to match everything else up there. Since I am stuck waiting on tall help, I've gone ahead and set the harness out here in the sun so it can be a little bit more pliable once we get in the truck. But this is the pre-made harness from Recon. Each one of these brown and yellow pairings of wires that's going to plug right into your cab light. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then you got your one ground on the ring terminal right there. And then this green wire, you're going to tap into the headlight switch, which is going to be the black and yellow wire that turns the park lamp on right there. So once you flick that on and these light up, your cab lights will follow. Before I crawl up in there and show you the progress, we have to address this nonsense. This here is the screw that Recon gives you, and there's this stupid little rubber washer. As soon as you tighten this down, that rubber washer rips, and then that's the screws we ended up using, because this one, there we go. What are you supposed to do with that? It barely has any engagement, and then it doesn't sit flush, and you risk stripping the roof. So we went with these and a healthy amount of silicone. So far, so good. Alrighty, we now have all 5 nice and evenly mounted up there. I will hop in the truck, show you the wiring, and how we got those nice and lined up from the inside. So, as far as I know, second gens are the only trucks that come with these super obvious holes along the top. So we went and we drilled right up through the center there to get our center point, and then we measured the front and side of the cab light so that it fits and lines up along this edge here. We did this side one on the passenger. Then we went over and did that driver one, measured those together, and then we got our center one nice and centered off of the rearview mirror mount on the outside. And then we got these 2 side measurements for the ones in the middle off of our center one. And at the moment, they look perfect. Now to address the screws. They do come through fairly far. So the end of tomorrow, once everything cures up nicely, we're going to come in and I'm going to Dremel that off and right there. And then I'm going to take silicone and I'm going to go in and touch up the inside of where the wires are and go over each hole where the screws come through all the way along the side, just to try and ensure that it is as leak-free as it can possibly get. So now I'm going to start plugging in the wire harness and get some power to them. Wire harness is up. They're plugged in. Obviously, we might have to come back and switch the plugs around to 180 for polarity. And we'll have to clean this up with some zip ties. But I've now got my dash bezel removed. We got the green wire, you can see there, snaked down behind the pillar, coming out the hole there. And I will show you which wire we tap into. Now this here is the headlight switch, and getting back in here is going to be super difficult. That's some fallout here. That black wire with the red stripe, not to be confused with that yellow wire with the black stripe. We want the black with the yellow stripe. That is going to be our park lamp wire. So when all of our running lights up front turn on, and our running lights for our tail lights, the cab lights should kick on with them. And there we have the green wire tapped into the black and yellow. Good luck getting that in there yourself. I got the dash bezel nice and put back. And then I went along a couple spots, got it tidied up with some zip ties. And we are fully functioning. Now, it is still daylight, so you can't really, you can kind of tell they're on there. They're brighter in person. But we got them, the placement turned out perfect. Wiring worked 100% the first time. So now I will wait for it to get a little darker and get the drone out. So I was going to say I lied, and I actually am going to trim them down and silicone them in this video as well. But now that I'm back in here, the screws would be like directly above my head, and I'd kind of just have to guess with the Dremel tool. So I probably shouldn't. But again, just know I'm going to do that, and if your screws stick through, you should do that too. I did another layer of silicone. It's had over 24 hours to dry. So now we're going to take the water hose and give it a solid water test. So we are about 5 minutes into our very heavy artificial downpour, and so far, she's completely dry.